I want to talk about punishment in this video, or why you need to keep training and why it's one of the best things to train. I'm using Jinwoo as an example because what we can see right here is when he had his first punishment in solo leveling, when he didn't get the whole concept of leveling up in games, like he was having to defend himself and run for his dear life. Whereas on the second time, when he had leveled up, like he went into the arena and he was able to defeat all of the enemies in one go. This is something that I have been able to realize myself personally. So like when Jinwoo, he gets transported into a new land, it's like, okay, he's so shocked. He's like, what is happening? Like, what's going on? And we can tell that, like, obviously the giant desert centipedes are red. He's absolutely terrified. He has to survive for 4 hours. And the only way that he can survive at this point in time is by running and running and running and running for his dear life, because he doesn't have the strength to be able to defeat the enemies. So he just has to run for 4 hours straight, which if you have ever even run for 30 minutes, you have no idea how difficult and challenging it is. So like after he did this said thing, he's like, okay, well now I guess I'm just going to go and live my life as I need to go live my life, because like I need to train to make sure that this never happens again. That's why I highly recommend going out and trying to train in different ways that are pushing yourself beyond your limits, because then all of a sudden you're going to have different ways to train. And I like the ability of being able to do something that is challenging enough that's going to push me out of my comfort zone within a punishment of some sort, where it could, obviously don't make it be death or something like that, but where it's a punishment big enough to where you want to avoid that punishment at all costs. Which is why I like when he ends up going back again, like he's at the end of his ropes. This is a whole different video that I can do on a different day, where we see Jinwoo's shadow version of himself. If you want that, let me know. Leave a comment down below in the description. I'll make a video on that as well too. Actually, I'll probably just make one after this. But basically, him missing the quest on the second time when he ended up doing it, he's like, oh, I'll get to it later because I'm gonna go to this other thing. If he would have gone and did that, then he wouldn't have done the thing that he needed to do right here. Which is why it's like everything's happening for you. It's happening in your favor and for your good. So you want to keep doing more of that to make sure that you can have the outcome that you want. And that's why I like when he got transported back to the penalty zone again, he was kind of like, oh yeah, I didn't do the daily quest. He kind of forgot about it. But this gave him time to recover, to get his strength up, and be able to be basically at full strength when he goes back into the arena. And that's why I like this scene so much. Like you can tell the difference between this version of him, and it's the same thing for yourself as well too. It's like he was worried for nothing, and he's just standing tall. He's like, oh yeah, this is easy. Like just this, bro. Like, I mean, and that, boys, is how I look at my life as well too, with what I end up doing, is basically exactly what Jinwoo says right here, is this little bit. So until next time, right, I'll manage to survive. I'll see him again. And as long as it doesn't kill me, any pain I go through, which is this is only gonna make me stronger. And that's why I personally put myself in pain, because I understand that it is gonna make me stronger, because I didn't want to be this person anymore. I didn't want to be the Jinwoo that was having to sit out on the sides, that was absolutely terrified. He's like, Desert, what happened? Oh no, am I dreaming? No, I was just in the hospital. And then he's like, oh crud, like there's this big animal desert looking thing. And it's like, oh, you need to survive for 4 hours. And I didn't like that aspect. It's like, are you kidding me? I have to survive this environment right now. And I just didn't like that for myself personally. So that's why, like, I started training. I put myself in environments and places where I could overcome those struggles or the hardships of climbing mountains or running or exercising or whatever it may be. And I highly recommend you doing the same thing, because at first it's like this, it sucks, it's terrible, it's brutal, like I don't like it. It's why I go run for a while, then I stop, and then I go run again, because I'm like, running is the one thing where it's like, if you take time off, yes, you can do it again, but it's also, you come back to it and it's just like, it's still hard unless you keep doing it every single day, but it does get easier the more you do it. And I like the version of this version of Jinwoo, where it's like, you know what, I'm going to destroy and dominate everything else because I've leveled up so much, compared to the one of him where it's just, I'm running from all my fears. I found out, like, in the beginning, yes, you're going to be running, but the more you do it, you're going to actually be able to stand up and fight just like him. And if you want to train hard and you want to know how to train hard, my best advice or recommendation that I can give to you is to, like I said at the beginning of the video, create some sort of punishment that you don't want to do. It could be shaving your head, could be donating money to a charity, could be just going out and exercising, and like you just don't like the image that you see of yourself. That's a great way to do it, because then at the end of the day, like when you do become stronger, you can defeat all the enemies that stand within your way. And you can have a lot more happiness and fulfillment, as I have been able to discover over the years. And I'm trying to share that with you through these videos and through the concepts and stories that I end up sharing. So if this did help, let me know, share it with a friend, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.